Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another video, and we're going to talk about the Greninja epidemic. And I want to dive into this a little bit deeper of my last video talking about this Greninja fucking explosion. I'm kicking myself in the nuts for not keeping a bunch of those. Like I said, I think I left some of them like on my floor somewhere. I mean, they were like literally garbage. They were like $5 cards. And now, like I said, you're seeing them in like the $1,000 range. You're already seeing people trying to cash out at like $700. I think I've seen one for was the lowest list of it. Some people are asking $2,000. I mean, yeah, it's fucking maddening. Um, don't think you're going to be the person that buys one for $700 and flips it for 2K. Like, that is not a sound business plan. And I want to explain why. So, not to show my own card or anything like that, but we're going to use a card like Gengar as an example of the difference. So, there are probably, I don't know, 10,000 Gengars. I don't even know, 7,000, 5,000. I forget what the PSA 10 number is, but let's just say, for the sake of this video, there's 5,000 PSA 10 Gengars. God, someone will correct me in the comments. Oh my God. But either way, there's 5,000 PSA 10 Gengars. When you look on the market, there are maybe like 3 that are for sale. I mean, there's usually only like 3 or 4, maybe sometimes 10 PSA 10s on the market for sale. And, it ranges every, week from 3 Gengars to 10 Gengars to, somewhere between a 3 to 10. Like, no, not every person that owns this card is trying to just dump it as fast as they can, like it's hot garbage. And when you look online with the Greninja, I think it has a very low PSA 10 pop. I don't want to like be quoted on this because I don't research Greninja fucking gold stars for celebrations every day. But I think it has like a low pop of like, I don't know, like 200 or 300. I don't think I'm right on this. I'm just spitballing something out there. But my point with this Greninja is everyone that owns a PSA 10 copy right now has it listed on the market for sale because they know it's like the easiest fucking bag ever if someone buys it. Okay? Like, they know that, fuck, you give me $700 for this card, I did great. I got fucking $50 in this bitch. Like, they know that it's just the quickest bag ever. So they're all trying to dump it like hot garbage. But like a card like Gengar, like there are people that truly believe in this card at 1,300 and they don't want to sell it because they think it's going to be 2,500 to $3,000, so like, including myself, like I just don't think this card's ever going to drop, or I think it's more of a safe blue chip single in my opinion. And that's why I'm invested in it. Same with the Leafeon. Like, I just feel like at the prices that these are, they are very justified for how difficult they are to pull and for how difficult they are to grade 10. And there's just, yeah, I just feel like they're very justified for where they're at. And the Greninja is literal garbage. I like the Greninja from Twilight. Very beautiful card. But the Greninja, the Gold Star Greninja, is hot garbage. It will plummet, and a lot of people will end up fucking burnt. Stay away from this. Just act like it isn't even happening. Don't even think that you're going to buy one for $700 and reflip it for like 1,000 or 1,500. Like that, it's not gonna happen. Like, it won't last. But if it does last, I just want to throw this out there that you mean to tell me a Greninja that people are asking Gengar VMAX level money for. Make that make sense whatsoever. That a PSA 10 Greninja should be worth as much as a Gengar VMAX is. So it just shows that, in my opinion, and I hate to throw these out there, I think the Gengar and the Moonbryon in PSA 10 are, and a lot of the other old arts, like Lugia and all them, are extremely underrated. at the current prices that you can get them at. And like, I don't know how to put it. I don't really want any of you investing your money in them, because I don't believe in them like that much to say like you should risk your own money on them. I did because I had the money and I'm like whatever. But like as someone else though, I would not recommend for you to risk the money on them. Um, I would much rather give you the advice of like, hey, go buy a case of Fusion Strike. You know what I mean? Like I would rather give my subscribers safe, sound advice and not just some like crazy get rich quick singles scheme. I mean, I can't promote any singles to my fans. I do occasionally, like I tell you guys to buy some singles that I still think are good. Like I still think like they're really good pickups, but I'm never going to say like bet the farm on it. Of like, oh, like buy Gengar 13. It's definitely going to be 25. I don't know. It could do anything, but I still think it's very underrated for the price. And if you want one, it's really not a bad time to get them. But I'm not saying it is this get rich quick scheme. It's not. It's literally just a fucking dick toss up in the wind. Who knows? Um, so, but I will say to completely avoid that Greninja at all costs. And, this is something I was wondering because I used to hate when people said that like Pokemon would become a junk wax era. Because I solely like thought that was some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard because like almost any Pokemon card, if it's good, it sells. But um when you start to think about it, like I'm gonna use this Dragonair as an example. I think a PSA 10 is like $100. I'm not even sure what the PSA 10 price is on this Dragonair. But like if you had this card up for sale, in my opinion, and it was a PSA 10, I wouldn't. I'd rather have $100. I don't care what this card does. I don't care whatever it is. I would rather just have the cash, than just a fucking random ass Dragonair PSA 10 card. I mean, if you like the art on it or whatever, great. But that's my point. Is it makes me wonder on a lot of these cards that are like PSA 10s and they're like $200 to $300 and they're just weird SIRs or IRs of like, are these even gonna like do anything? Like are people even gonna buy these in a couple years? Like, who knows? So that's why I don't like to just recommend singles on my channel. I really don't. It is a straight risky game. I mean, half of my singles I'm honestly down on, bro. So that's why I just don't even recommend singles at all. I mean, I could go through a list of singles that I've lost money on this year. I mean, shit. Um, I think I've lost money on Iron Moth. I've probably lost money on Glaceon. I don't know if that card's went up or not yet. I lost money on Alakazam. It dipped. I lost not selling it at its peak. I don't really care though, but I lost money on Venusaur. Fucking bought 3 Venusaurs. The fucking Squirtle from Stellar Crown. I bought them. So yeah, I fucked up on singles. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've gotten some more W's than I have fails, but I will honestly say that picking a single is like taking a shot in the fucking dark. It doesn't matter how good you are. Singles are just singles, bro. Like, it's a wild world. And, in my opinion, you're going to lose more on singles than what you're going to win most of the time. Unless you're grading, like that's why I try to save a bunch of cards for grading. But other than that, investing in singles, yeah, it gets to be a gray area where you're probably going to lose. But who knows at the end of the day. We might see a giant spike in singles here soon. I mean, because it does seem like a lot of them are mega undervalued because people are terrified of them right now. But like I said, I'm not certain enough to tell you guys like, hey, you should go buy Gengar for sure. But I will say if you're going to buy Greninja, buy the fucking Gengar instead. You know what I mean? Like, don't be stupid. But that's just my honest opinion on this whole Greninja controversy. I would just stay the fuck out of it. Just act like it's not even happening. It's not an easy way to get rich. Just avoid the whole thing at all costs. If you want to pick up any singles, pick up some old arts. Like, you just can't go wrong with the old arts. In my opinion, they're just so fucking hard to pull. And, you know, PSA 10 worthy ones, I think, will always be legit. You know, that they are kind of justified, the prices people are asking. But other than that, like maybe the Bubble Mew, you know, like that's another one in PSA 10 that'll probably do really good over time. Um, but like other than that, though, pretty much just dodge the singles market as much as you can. I mean, it is just, it is a shit show. You know, if you find some singles you like or whatever, sure, you know, but it really is a risky game of, you know, most of the time you end up upside down on singles. Like sealed is just undeniably slow, tedious, but eventually it makes some real fucking bread. You know, I mean, look at Fusion Strike cases. I mean, they are so fucking expensive. But it's even like Fusion Strike. Like this went up tremendously. And there's still a bunch of pushback on the market of like, I wouldn't even sell my case for $5. You know, even though I'm offered way more than I paid for it, there's still the pushback from me as a collector saying, I like this case more than money. You know, and there's not on that Greninja card. There's I like money more than card. You know, just a simple, like, supply and demand crash course of like, yes, has the card seen a blow up out of nowhere? I'm not denying that. But will it last? You know, like Fusion Strike being 5K a case. Like I know tomorrow Fusion Strike will most likely still be $5,000 a case. I know Lost Origin will still probably be $3,000 plus a case. You know, I know Charizard UPCs will be somewhat expensive, more than I paid for them. So I have a desire to hold on to them still and see where that ship sails. But when it comes to these fucking weird ass singles cards that spike overnight and just plummet, you know, a couple days later, I mean, you really got to question that, you know, in this hobby. And I mean, it's kind of, most of you probably already know this by now, but for some of you that don't, just let this be a valuable lesson that this shit happens all the time. And, you know, like, I think at one point the Gengar even, like, someone spiked it up to like $3,000 before, $5,000 before in a 10. And then it, like, spiked back down. So this does happen a lot in singles. They're very volatile. And very hard to speculate. Just very, very difficult to speculate. That's why I say to just get PSA 10 worthy copies of stuff. Try to grade it yourself. Buy it at raw cost if you're going to fuck with singles. But for the most part, just dodge them, man, because you'll probably lose more money than you'll make. And it will just be a fucking big ass headache. You're just better off buying fucking sealed. It's that fucking simple. But anyway, that's all we have for this video, though. I just kind of wanted to make that comparison. I feel like a lot of investors will understand what I'm saying, understand where I'm coming from, is that, you know, when everyone's trying to dump a card at a ridiculous price of hundreds of dollars, and it was just like a $5 card, I mean, that's red flags to just stay the fuck away from it. You know, because you could end up losing a lot of money being stupid. Like, tremendous amounts. I mean, God, I mean, can you imagine? That card was $100 in a PSA 10. I think it was even $50 in a PSA 10 for a while. I mean, could you imagine if you bought that at like $2,000 and it just tanks down to $100 again? Like, bro, you're getting reverse cooked. I mean, hell, I've even worried about this with just Evolving Skies booster boxes, and those are fucking valuable. You know, like, I've worried about buying them at $1,900 and getting reverse cooked back down to $625. I mean, that's never going to happen. But, like, you guys get the point now of, like, for example, just to really, like, put the meat and potatoes back into what I'm saying is, like, whenever I'm selling something, like, whenever I want money, you know, and I'm, like, kind of eyeballing my collection, like, well, what should I sell? You know, like, I have to give up something of real value to me to get a nice chunk of cash. You know, like, let's say I really, really want $2,000, and, you know, I need $2,000 for, like, I don't know, the fucking roof needs fixed or something. So, like, okay, I need $2,000 and I better hurry up and break out. Hold on, let me grab them out. You know, one of these two boxes, because these are, you know, okay, so I need money. So let's say I do that. I'm having to give up something of real value to me for that pile of cash. Like, I'm having to give up a booster box that I've believed in for many years and for a pile of cash. And the guy giving me the pile of cash is getting an incredible box. So he is getting, you know, his $2,000 well worth it, and in the potential of whatever it'll be in another year from now, and he'll do good. You know, the other party will do really well. You know, so it's the same thing with Unbroken Bonds. You know, if I go to sell it, I'm genuinely giving up something of value from my collection for cash. You know, or like my 151 UPCs, if I sell those for, you know, $370 or whatever, and, you know, someone gives me $370 in cash, I'm genuinely giving up something of value that I value in my collection and don't want to really get rid of. You know, so even though I do want to get rid of my 151, but so I'm genuinely giving up something of value. Now, someone that graded a $5 Greninja and they spent $15 on grading fees and they're charging you a band, like, they're not giving up much of value. They're not giving you much of anything, you know. They're just giving you a fucking shit piece of cardboard that's a PSA 10. You know what I mean? So you really got to be aware of what you're actually handing your money over for, in this market especially. So that's just kind of a long crash course of when to just kind of like stay out of things and stay in your own lane, you know, per se, to just stay in your own lane and not really fuck around in shit that you're just like, whatever. You know, I could have bought thousands of those Greninjas for $50 a fucking slab, but fuck it, you know. It's the same thing when the Drowsy boomed. Like, I bought one of them when they were like $10, and then it just like exploded. And then it crashed back down. And I still think it'll eventually go back up. I do like the Drowsy card a lot more because you actually have to pull it. And it's not just like, oh, it's in every fucking Elite Trainer box. And I'm not saying promo cards can't become valuable. The Mew from Fusion, no, from the 3-pack Fusion Strike blisters. I have that around here somewhere. The Mew from the Fusion Strike blisters, actually, that is a very good card to grade if you want to get into grading. To grade the Mew promo from the 3-pack blisters, and then it's the Espeon promo from the 3-pack blisters. That's a $200 card in a PSA 10, and those are kind of hard to come by. And you can buy the card for like $3, grade it, and it's $200 in the market. So stuff like that you can do. Stuff like the Greninja, obviously, you know, you want to buy 5 or 6 of them, risk $100, and then grade them in PSA 10 and hope the market still stands. You know, you might do really well. I mean, you still might do really well, honestly. I mean, even if the card crashes back down to $100 in a PSA 10, I mean, fuck, if you buy like 10 copies for $20 each, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a fucking money printer, isn't it? I mean, you know, buy fucking Greninjas and grade them, I guess. Like, geez, I guess I should do that my fucking self. Holy fuck. You know, but either way, we'll see where things fall. You know, I don't think it'll stand to be $1,000 card. That's insanity. It's not that rare. Will it stand to maybe be a $200 or $300 card? Yeah, maybe, you know, but 1,000, yeah, I wouldn't pay like any crazy prices for one. You're not missing out. Don't FOMO into that kind of shit. So that's just the purpose of this video. Just a crash course on where my mind's at when it comes to the graded card market, singles, and because I mean I dabble in both. Like I said, I fuck with singles and sealed. But yeah, I would gradually say, like, yeah, if you want to actually fucking grade some Greninjas, fuck, it's worth a shot, you know? Because you're probably not going to end up upside down. You might actually make some good fucking money doing that, to be honest. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with grading them. I just would not buy one graded because you're going to get fleeced. So that's all we have for this video, though. Let me know if you guys agree with that. Do you guys think the Greninja is going to be the next big fucking $5,000 Magikarp from how they evolved? I mean, like, at this point, I just swear we're just making up prices for shit now. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Half the time, this market's so fucking goofy, bro. It has to be like some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like certain things that you really think genuinely that deserve like a massive price range, like raise, like the Gengar, like something that's very safe. Like you think this should be 3K. Like it's such a fucking mind fuck with singles because it's like something that you really believe that should be worth like $3,000 to $5,000 like this card. I mean, to pull this card, you have to open up a $5,000 case and you might still not get it. So like this should be worth $5,000 in my opinion, but it's just not right now. But the thing is, that's the beautiful thing about Pokemon right now, is you can pick whatever the fuck you want if you got the cash to buy it, and you can battle against the market and say like, hey, this is an undervalued card. It's very tough to pull. Grading 10 isn't that terrible for it, but it's very tough to pull, and you can, argue against this and buy it yourself. And people did this with Latios from Team Up. They bought the card in a PSA 10 for $1,000 even when I started the hobby, and it's like 6K now. So that they went against the grind. But the thing is, they had to go against that grind for a couple years of it not moving. And that's where kind of Gengar and Umbreon are right now. Moonbreon, they haven't really like moved up in a bit, and you kind of look stupid for holding one. But at the same time, like a year could pass and it's like everybody wants that Gengar and it's just fucking 5K. You know what I mean? Like that can happen. And that is the singles market and the reality of it. And, it's very, very tough to predict. And, it is what it is. But that's why I say, like, to be very careful in the singles market because it is so fucking random. Like, in a way, it's just like as cards get older, they do get more valuable. As Seal gets more expensive. But, yeah, it's just, it's very, very tough to predict. I mean, it really is. Like I said, I've done well on my PSA 10 card predictions and buying the right things, but like I've also had my singles that I've fucked up on. So I mean, it really is. I've never been cooked really bad, like paying $2,000 for something that's only worth like $100 now or something. But still, it's very like a toss up, of like, will this stuff do really well? Who knows? The thing with sealed is you just know for sure, like, someone's going to FOMO into it, as the product gets older, and they're going to pay more than you did. So that's like where you go good with sealed and why it's safe. A little bit slower money, but it definitely adds up over time. So that's just the point of this video. Don't go buying fucking expensive Greninjas. If anything, I would say like invest in something like the Bubble Mew, the Gengar, like stuff that is just like inherently pretty safe and not just like completely fucking overpriced, just junk wax shit. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, I don't think any of these three cards are like something you would consider junk wax, So, but you can pretty much always find a buyer for it, in the event that you've ever wanted to sell. So, that's just the purpose of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry to go on a long rant, but I feel like a lot of investors that want to hear my take on this opinion, and I wanted to like break down a video of like, the difference between cards that are like actually deserve the money and cards that really don't. So I hope that helps out some of you guys. Hopefully it saves you guys a bunch of money from like making terrible mistakes in life decisions. And yeah, that's everything we have for this one there, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We're out.